The man who builds an elite network and circle doesn't have to face life alone. In fact, he magnifies his power by tenfold because his brothers carry the weight with him. Your net worth isn't just financial, rather it's also the caliber of men that stand beside you. Fellas, this is the first time since I created this brand new channel last year that a week and some change has gone by before I have uploaded. I was pretty occupied. Last week we had our first modern day Renaissance men mastermind and it was incredible. There aren't words. The business that was done, the connections, the experiences, the paradigms that were shifted, the workshops that we did, it was truly amazing. And me and my team right now are working diligently to really make a vlog to encapsulate the whole experience, but there aren't words that I can say, or really, I'm not even sure if a video can do it justice. That mini documentary or vlog probably will come out in maybe 3 weeks, maybe a month, maybe a month and a half, because we filmed 0.5 terabyte documenting the whole event. And so I ask that you guys be patient with me, but that event was absolutely amazing. There are not words. I personally introduced my clients to my inner circle, multi-millionaires, titans in all types of different industry. Truly a remarkable experience. If you couldn't make this one, the next one will be next year, possibly in Monaco, and the price will be triple. So it was truly a special event, and I'm honored to have been able to serve my guys this way. Now that that's out the way, I had to say, before we get into this video, these kind of videos are speaking to specific gentlemen. I want to be clear, if you are somewhere right now where you're still struggling with scarcity, with finances, if you're not where you want to be in terms of like your basic needs, these videos probably won't serve you, okay? Because it's not that having money makes you valuable. However, if you still haven't mastered your root chakra, which is stability, then some of these higher concepts that we're going to dive into in the next upcoming weeks probably will be a little bit over your head, so to speak, okay? Now, today, fellas, we're going to be talking about how to build an elite circle of friends, meaning that you yourself have to add some value, which is why I said if you're still struggling with the lower chakras, perhaps these videos might not resonate with you, okay? So we're going to talk about how to build an elite circle. I'm somebody, which you guys know if you're familiar with the content, I am a polyglot. I speak multiple languages. I have lived all over the world, been to over 35 countries. And so I have friends all over the world. I have been betrayed, snaked, you name it, everything. And I've learned how to really build relationships with solid people, all right? So let's dive into today's video. What is the first way to build an elite circle? That's always going to be wherever you're at right now, right? This has nothing to do with finances per se, how much you make in terms of your friendship. But first thing you have to do is you have to audit your friend group. Now, when I say audit your friend group, what I mean is take a look at your closest friends. And you've got to be able to differentiate. I hope the marker works. Y'all know sometimes the marker be tripping and shit, right? Let's see. You have to be able to audit your friend group and see who is a drainer, right? Versus a gainer. Now, what I mean by gainer is somebody that actually helps you grow, helps shift your perspective, challenges you, can collaborate with you, can add equal value. You see, most guys, especially as you start to see some level of success, it can be isolating, right? And so what happens is you might outgrow your old friend group, right? And so people will start to drain you once they see that you're doing a little bit better, right? People will start to drain you. So now you have to figure out who's actually adding value to you. And this could sound harsh or whatever, I don't care. Who's adding value to you or who's just taking? By the way, your family can also just take. You have to be maniacally selfish with your time and your energy, as I said before. So the first step is to audit your friend group, right? Figure out who's draining you, right? Who's actually helping you grow. Now, once you do this, if you only have drainers, you're gonna be in that isolation period. I'm sorry to tell you, I went through it. Every guy that upgrades his life has to go through it, okay? From here, if you only have drainers, this is the path. Eradicate them, You might have to be alone for a little bit, right? And keep building up your value, right? So that eventually you can come into a social circle that's of value. Because guys that are doing well, guys that have achieved, unless it's one of those relationships to where it's like a mentor-mentee relationship and they see something in you, so they might give you game, they might let you hang around them. I have mentors, I have OGs, guys who are older than me that mentor me, that help me, right? And they seen something in me, right? I have a couple of guys who are, late teens who I give them game. You have to be alone for a little bit, work on yourself, become of value, then find yourself in a social circle of men who are going to push you, right? Now, how do you do this right here? How do you find this social circle? You can either start going to certain conferences in your local neighborhood, right? But more times than not, you're going to have to pay, okay? You're going to have to pay for a mastermind, such as the one that I just had with my gentlemen, where they all had to pay thousands of dollars, right, to get access to the experience and the network. You're going to have to pay for conferences, right? I probably spelled that wrong. I don't care, right? Or you're going to have to pay for a mentor. I'll just put for, right? Or, like I said, if you're lucky, you can just find an older cat that'll give you game that might, introduce you to some people, but that's not common. So these are the first steps, right? If you're only around drainers, right? Because if you're around gainers, then these are going to be useful, but at least you have people that you can build with, people that are going to add value to your life, right? So this is the very first step when we talk about really upgrading your life, really upgrading your identity as a man. Once you start getting some wins, you have to really curate your social circle because that is super important, right? And so if you have the drainers, I don't want to say just completely stop talking to your old friends, but you're going to drift apart anyway, naturally, okay? You can still have old friends, but you're going to have to limit those interactions if they're not trying to grow. If they're trying to grow, okay, you can pour into them like a mentor would pour into you, right? You want to help some guys. I understand that. I've tried to help many people before in my life, right? Every man has to face that isolation period. It's lonely once you start to climb up, especially if you're the first person in your family like me and a lot of the high profile gentlemen that I work with, right? Figure out how to make yourself more valuable. Now, you guys know my motto. I talk about being a modern day Renaissance man, dominating multiple sectors and facets of your life. You have to dominate your mental, your health, your spiritual. You have to be of utility to the marketplace. What is your trade? What do you offer, right? What do you offer? This doesn't mean that you have to have a business. You can be working corporate, but you have a skill set. What do you offer, right? Because at the next level, these guys want you to actually add value to them, to change their perspective, to add something to them, right? And so isolation while you're working on yourself, right? Boom, you have more value. You can pay to get into these social circles, or you can try to push yourself around certain areas where affluent people are, okay? So this is the first step right here to building an elite social circle of friends. Let's move into number two. Number two, fellas, what is the second step to building an elite social group of friends? This is gonna be, I would say set/know your standard. Okay, so what do I mean? You have to know what you expect from your relationships. For example, I talk to so many guys, most of them don't even know what they want in a woman. Most of them don't know what they want out of their own lives. So let alone what they want in women, what they want from, associates and friends. Know what you expect out of friendships, right? What you want to do is you want to cut out, let's say, friendships that are built on comfort. So what I mean by this is I used to have some friends who I was just kicking with, smoke with, vibe. You want to cut those off, right? Set your standard, right? Higher level friendships are built off of value exchange, okay? If I cannot grow with you, there's no point in us being friends. So you have to have a standard. Anybody that I call friend, it's a mutual respect, right? Most of my friends are way above my level in terms of monetary gain and all that stuff. But we add value. I have different perspectives, things that I know that I'm doing in my industry or that I've experienced in my personal life that adds substance to them, and they add value back to me. This past week, I had a couple of my millionaire buddies take time out of their busy schedules to come talk to my clients. Why did they stop things from their busy schedule to come honor me and my gentlemen and talk to them? It's because I've added tons of value to them for years, never asked for a favor, and the second I asked for something, they was like, oh, Dad, I got you. You know what? I had a flight today at like 5, but I'm gonna push that back, right? To come talk to your gentleman, right? That's how it is. You add value, add value, add value, and then it's what? Reciprocal. So it's a value exchange. Set your standards and know the standards that you have for anybody that comes into your life. We are not just making friends and you can feel however type of way you want to feel about it. Oh, well, that's using people. We're all using people, buddy. If I come to you and you're in a certain position and I'm just asking, you're going to not want to be around me. But if you have a bottleneck in your business or some issue and we can go have a good time, we can talk about women, have fun and all that shit, but I'm of utility and say, hey, John, by the way, you said that in the last quarter, you were dealing with this issue in your business. Well, I actually have a solution for that. Or I actually know a guy that can take care of that. Now we're what? Exchanging value. At the next level, it's all about social capital. Okay, these are higher level conversations. And so this is number 2. The second way to build an elite social circle of friends is to set and know your standards for the friendships that you want. Let's move into number 3. Number 3, fellas, the third way to start building better friendships and social circle. And this one is simple. It goes without saying. As I said earlier, put yourself in higher societal rooms, right? Higher societal rooms. So earlier, I said that there were several ways that you can, bump into certain affluent people, and you can pay for a mastermind, you can pay for a conference, things like that. You can go to the bars of elegant hotels, right? You can go to tennis events, horse races, car races. These type of events typically have affluent people. But again, you're gonna have to work on yourself first so that you can be a man of value, right? And you never want to come off with the energy that like you just want to take. No, you always want to give value first. This is how I became friends with so many other guys that I'm friends with now is I'm always just curious like, hey, how can I serve you? How can I add value to you? I'm not worried about you doing anything for me. I already know I'm going to be straight. But if there's any way I can serve you and we can cultivate a mutually beneficial relationship, let's do it. I'm all for it. So put yourself in high societal rooms, right? You're gonna have to, which if you're watching this video and you're already a high performer, then you already know about investing in yourself, because I would assume you've already invested thousands of dollars into your personal development. So this isn't something new, but it's always nice to be reminded, right? But for now, I'm talking about the gentleman who perhaps you've just now started making some money, you've just now gotten established, or maybe you've been established, but you feel isolated. This is the specific gentleman that I'm talking to in this particular video. And so put yourself in these rooms, spend the money. If there's a mastermind that's 20K and you know what it can do for you, I'm dropping that 20K easy. If it's, some type of whatever it could be a fucking book club. I don't care. But you have to pay to play. Or you just simply have to put yourself in different places, which you're going to have to pay something eventually, right? So putting yourself in higher societal rooms, events, conferences, like I said before, not to beat a dead horse, but, becoming a man of value and then putting yourself in other situations where you can mingle and intertwine with other people that have value. This is how you can really start to cultivate fantastic friendships with people who can change your life. Because ultimately, everybody watching this video, including myself, we're only one relationship away from completely transforming our lives, right? The truth is, every problem you have, there's somebody that has already solved it and that can solve it, okay? And so life becomes a lot easier when you're surrounded by people who can solve your problems. Let's move into number 4. Number 4, and if you notice, I'm going to repeat some things in this video so that it can really be driven home to you, okay? Number 4 is going to be give value first. So we hear this a lot, give value first. But what does giving value first actually look like, right? You see, successful men are used to people wanting from them. They can feel that needy energy. They're used to takers. They're used to people asking, hey, I've got a business idea. Fuck you. Hey, I got to, like that ass. Like what you want to do is you want to bring ideas. You want to bring connections. Like I said, social capital, right? Perspectives, which can be the same thing potentially as ideas, right? You want to be of utility. So you want to bring ideas, connection. If they can connect with you, if you can connect them with somebody else that can help them, right? This is what adding value looks like. Ideas, connections, perspectives, solutions, okay? Be of utility, not just going to take, not just going to ask, but just, oh, hey, you know, I'm aware that you do this. If you feel comfortable talking about it, I saw that in the last previous 2 quarters, you guys didn't hit your mark because of this specific, you know, whatever. And I've actually got a guy, or I'm in this industry, and if you're interested, I can casually in conversation, right? And so giving value first looks like this. And once you can do this, right? Because nowadays, what you've noticed, especially with, you know, personal brands and things of that nature, people want to do business with people that they know, not just entities, but people that they know, people that they like. It's the same way in interpersonal communication when it comes to high society, right? If you can get people to like you and you're genuinely caring about them, genuinely caring about their problems and how you can be of service, then you can start to become friends and you don't even have to ask a favor for years, right? That's the thing. Operate from abundance and actually try to help people for once and not try to take, right? And then this is how you build these relationships. So I won't stay here too long since we kind of touched on this already. Let's move into number 5. Now, number 5. Now we move into when you're actually screening people to get into your circle, right? So we spoke about a little bit about how to get into higher society circles, right? But now let's say that you're the gentleman, which, you know, as I said, you're doing well for yourself, but people are constantly asking or just, you feel some kind of needy energy. This is how you screen, right? This is number what, 5 or 6? This is number, this is number 5. What you want to do now is you want to test loyalty. How do you test loyalty? In times of, let's say, adversity, right? You're going to test them with money. You're going to test them around women. And you're going to test them, right, to see how they would act if you were potentially down or if they were potentially down. How do they act when they are distraught? Right? Now, one might be asking, well, Dud, how do you even simulate a situation where they're being down or whatever, right? So you don't have to like falsely create some type of scenario to like test them, but just always keep your eye on people, right? Because the same way that women wear masks, everybody in society wears a mask, right? So with money, just observe how they act with their money. Right? With women, observe if they're married, are they cheating on their wife, or just their sexual habits. Nothing wrong with being a hypersexual man. I am. A lot of the gentlemen that I work with are. I mean, when you're a high performer and you have high testosterone, you know, you have a high sex drive. But are you immoral with that sex drive? If you're a man that's enjoying multiple women, but you're honest about it, okay, we're all adults. What you do is you. But if you're lying and hurting people, okay, I make a mental note of that. If you're cheating on your wife behind her back, I make a mental note of that, right? How do you spend your money? Are you a good steward? Are you wise with your money? Are you in a lot of negative debt? Are you constantly asking people? Are you constantly asking me? Do you always have a new business idea that, you know, isn't backed by anything? You know, if you were down, how would they act? Or you can observe them when they hit some hardship, right? Like as a business owner or just in life, it's cyclic. So you're gonna have different seasons where you're up and you're down. Pay very close attention to who's with you when you're down. I got a good friend of mine, his name is Pevin. He's our finance coach in Modern Day Renaissance Men. And we've been friends now for over 20 years, right? One of the first friends I ever made in high school when I moved to Florida. And he has held my back forever, always held me down. In fact, he's the one that fronted me money to start my company. And so, you know, he's seen me when I was down, I've seen him when he was down, and we've always just like helped each other throughout the decades. And these are the kind of friendships that last a lifetime, right? Where you're genuinely friends. They say that you shouldn't do business with friends. I disagree. You can't do business with friends when your friends aren't loyal, when they're selfish, when they're all about themselves. But if you have a true brother or brothers, why would you not want to do business with the very people that you know that you can trust unequivocally? You see what I'm saying? And so you want to test loyalty. See how people act with money, with women, when they're down in times of adversity. And this will tell you and show you, and this is the long game, you might have to wait 2-3 years to see how they really are, right? 2-3 years, see, you know, let life do its thing as they go through cycles and see how they really are, right? Because sometimes people wear a mask for a while. Test loyalty to see if they're truly your friends, if they're truly your brothers, and if you can truly build with them, all right? Because the last thing I would like you gentlemen to experience is you thinking that you had a friend, but in times of adversity, you realize you had a foe. Let's move into number 6. Number 6 is going to piggyback off of number 5, actually. Number 6 is going to be shared challenges. Now, what do I mean? You want to struggle with your friends, right? For example, I train with my friends. This past week, I brought my clients into the MMA gym with my coaches where my coach almost killed us. It was extremely hard. 2 hours of work, jiu-jitsu, Muay Thai, boxing, striking practice, right? Submitting each other, right? We went through a tough workout. We were sore for 4 or 5 days afterwards, right? At the beginning of this year, me and my coaching community, we did a 72-hour water fast. We didn't eat anything together as a collective, and we brought in the year on a 72-hour water fast. It was tough, but the gentleman, myself, we stuck through it, and we became closer, right? Even if it was done virtually and we all just met together in person here last week, we became stronger, right? And so do the same thing with your friends, right? My clients now are my friends. And so you want to share challenges, right? You want to train together. You want to build together, potentially launch projects together. For example, my clients are all in different industries. I've hired clients before to do projects for me in my business, right? That's how it should be. And so you want to launch projects together, train together, build together, sweat together, hustle together, right? Struggle together. This builds that deep bond, that deep friendship, that deep brotherhood. If your friends are only your friends when the money is flowing and everything is good, everything is high vibration and y'all just popping bottles and whoop-de-whoop, right? But the second that some strife arises, they're quiet, those are not your friends. But if you can train with them, struggle with them, challenge, push each other, build, launch projects, fail projects, you know what I'm saying? Bounce back, come back together, right? That's how you have that deep bond, right? With anybody, with your woman, right? With family, and especially with your friends. So this is number 6, fellas. This one was a good one, man. Let's move into number 7. Lastly, fellas, number 7, the 7th way to build an elite circle is to, I'll say, protect the group, man. Protect the group. And what I mean by protect the group is, what you want to do is, you want to guard it from gossip, right? Which grown men shouldn't be gossiping anyway. You want to guard it from gossip. You want to maintain a standard, like I said earlier, because the truth is, You're only as strong as your weakest link. And so everything should be addressed openly amongst your friends, candidly. No egos, drop the ego, right? Everybody in your circle is a giant in his own right. You want to be able to have candid masterminds. Think and Grow Rich, which I've read at this point 2-3 times, talks about the power of masterminding, multiple minds coming together and what can be done. You want to be able to mastermind, honestly. Guard the group from standard slipping. If you got a boy who's married and he's cheating on his wife behind her back, don't condone that shit. That's not cool. Now, if he has an agreement with his wife to where he can have other women, okay, cool. But always check your boys, and you should hope that they should check you, right? It's no ego. For example, I was in the gym the other day with one of my clients, and he's a fitness coach, and I was doing single arm dumbbell rows, and he corrected my posture. He's like, Dud, think about pulling your elbow back. Appreciate that, David. No problem. I'm coachable. As a coach, you should be coachable as a leader. It's no fucking ego. Protect the group. There's no ego. Nobody is above anybody. You guys all have different strengths and weaknesses, and the collective should be growing together. So you always have to audit your group, man, and maintain a standard for you guys, right? Nobody should be left behind. You should all be picking each other up, but you should also be carrying your load so you're not being a weight on the group, right? Because everybody has their own shit that they're going through, right? People are gonna help you for sure, but you gotta make sure that you're doing your part. So guys, this is how you build an elite group of friends. You guys know where to find me. First link down below to apply to join my international private network, Modern Day Renaissance Men. Salute.